Alright everyone, we start off today with a follow-up to yesterday's announcement. Of course, Elon Musk has now successfully gained control of Twitter. I guess that they couldn't weasel their way into a situation where they're turning down a 30% increase on their stock value. Because the alternative is they turn him down and their stock price collapses. He probably sells off nearly 10% of the company for half as much, still manages to break even, and then everyone else gets screwed, and all of a sudden they lose, collectively hundreds of millions of dollars. So it was always more likely than not he'd be successful. It was just a matter of how long they held out, if they poison pill the site. We'll see now if the people in charge of the site, some of the Leftoid crazies that work there, they have the keys to Twitter, so to speak. They've got a pile of user data. They've got security codes and shit. We'll see if there's any shenanigans that go on, and if anyone gets paid by the DNC in the shadows behind the scenes, and we won't hear about it till after the next election, I'm sure, if that happens, screwing a bunch of Twitter users. We'll see if Twitter goes down for a while because some pink-haired freak moron decided to press the wrong button on purpose. Anyway, Shaunking has left the site. The site's intelligence has risen dramatically since his decision last night to deactivate his account. By the way, I believe he will reactivate it. He'll pretend it never happened, probably, because he's disingenuous. He's a money grifter. He's sad because an African-American immigrant runs Twitter now, and, Shaunking is a racist asshole, so that's basically the long and short of it. But he'll be back, I think. He'll be back because if he's not getting his constant injections of adrenaline from, basically getting trolled, from antagonizing people and being a bigot and then wondering, why the hell am I being criticized and dogpiled? You're all racist or something. If he doesn't get that, he has no reason to live. That's his entire existence at this point. So you can expect he'll be back. He'll probably go on a couple of news shows to bitch and complain about how bad Elon Musk is because of some comment that he made about free speech and how this is terrible and how Nazis are going to troll me off of Twitter. But then he'll be back. He'll be back for more rage because he's a rage pig anyway. He loves this shit. Then we have The Verge, and these links are in the description, by the way. The Verge, doing the digital equivalent of We're Moving to Canada, helping other people by explaining how they can delete their Twitter accounts. If someone is genuinely so angry at the situation digitally with Elon Musk, again, a proud African-American immigrant, to tell the truth, owning Twitter, if they're that pissed off about it, despite the fact that he has made not one decision on the site yet, and that his bants are mostly just him verbally jacking off to get attention. Like, hey, should I make an edit button? And it's purposely misspelled and stuff. It's low-hanging fruit comedy and shit. If they're really that pissed off, probably they shouldn't be on the internet at all. Maybe we should have an emotional maturity test for the internet. I think that it would get much better if we took the 10% of people that are really frenetic and really truly stupid and just prevent them from using the internet. Kick them off entirely so that the rest of us can enjoy our good time. Yeah, you'd have a lot less purge fests and ban raids and shit like that. Anyway, this Meltdown is great. The salt mine is filling up. It's saltier than the Dead Sea already. It's saltier than that fucking planet where it rains sulfuric acid all the time. Can't remember which one it is. I think it was one of Jupiter's moons or some shit. Find a giant block of rock salt flying around in space, and it hits planet Slug, by the way. First and foremost, though, before I chuckle some more, because I'm seeing lots of really salty takes, and it's really, really great. And it's a good day. It's a comedic day. And even if Elon Musk is not a libertarian, he is less censorious than the rest of the big tech CEOs. He would be closer to a free speech style mentality, sort of like Jack Dorsey was maybe 15 years ago, by the way. There's a reason why Dorsey's poking fun, by the way, I think at the Twitter HQ crowd. Keep in mind, before I continue down below though, if you're watching this video on YouTube, there will be a pinned comment with links to other video hosting sites that I use. Keep in mind that I make exclusive material on those sites every day that does not go on YouTube. Another book will be done in the next few days. The final one, I'm considering releasing it on May 1st, May Day, or depending on when you celebrate it, could be as late as the 3rd. Could be also in April. Floralia and some of these other festivals. Again, paganism has the lunar thing going on, keep in mind. Here's the thing about the meltdown we're seeing on Twitter. it's great because the mainline people that are melting down, it's not like, some random person living in some random location is spurging out or something because the candidate that they like lost. This happens every election, for instance. It's because this is all the pundit class. These are people that are acting completely frenetic, again, despite Musk having done absolutely nothing yet. He's made no decision. He just barely bought the fucking site. The paperwork's not even inked probably yet. It's basically, yes, we'll sell to you. I don't think that the legalese is going to be completed in a single night. Elon's going to go there to Twitter HQ and start pressing the button to ban leftoids or something. They're actually afraid that this is going to happen. Now, what's more likely to happen is that some of the bigger name individuals that have been abused by the site and took their fan bases with them, which is why Twitter lost so much share value over the last couple of years, some of those people will be back aboard the site. It will become more functional. It'll also become more diverse, intellectually speaking. It'll have more diversity of opinion. That's really what these people are afraid of. The problem is Elon Musk is kind of saving the Shaunkings of the world from themselves. If you kick off all the people you find problematic and don't like, eventually there's no one left on the site, because what happens is this effect. This is how authoritarians inevitably destroy companies. This is how the pink-haired freak woke crowd or even like corporate legalese hall monitors will destroy your company, will destroy your website over time if you allow them to have a toehold. Every single one of the moderation staff at Twitter, by the way, should be fired. Just saying. They should all be replaced by people who have maybe a variance of principles. I think that'd probably be a good idea. A robot could do their job better. Yeah, somehow Google's overly censorious fucking algorithms are better than Twitter's moderation staff. They're a bunch of cunts, literally and figuratively. Here's the thing. If you get Shaunking and Madam Pinkhair and all these other goofballs, the woke crowd, the cringe fringe, in your moderation staff and stuff, and on your site complaining and you're listening to them, what happens is you ban the most edgy people. Like, we can look back years and years ago. We can look back at, like, the first wave Patreon purge. It was labeled, we'll take Patreon as an example, literally. Lauren Southern gets banned because she fires a flare. Now, while she wasn't actually endangering anyone and she's not an extremist, they concocted in their minds and in their TOS at the same time instantaneously the concept of manifest observable behavior, that they would ban people for real-world activity that was criminal or potentially dangerous. So they said, we don't care if you're a raging Nazi, but if you're going and you're, burning a swastika on someone's lawn, yes, we'll ban you from Patreon. But unless it carries over to the real world, we don't really care. We're not going to moderate that kind of content. We believe in free speech. Fast forward to now, is that the way that their TOS operates? I don't think so. I think, didn't they just ban a whole bunch of people yet again? I wonder why I'm making less money on Patreon, by the way. Jesse Lee Peterson was banned. For what? For being hateful, supposedly. Okay, does he do anything in real life? Does he go to rallies and threaten people? Does he carry a tiki torch around or something? No. He has a fucking YouTube stream? Oh. Yeah, there's some manifest observable behavior there. What about Sargon? Sargon sent a fucking DM to somebody that was pornographic and started getting strikes on some sites. Then basically he uses the N-word in a satirical context, literally attacking a couple of alt-writers, and that's why Patreon chooses to ban him. Okay, that's it. It wasn't even something on site, by the way. And what happens is that over time more and more people are unable to use your site, because there will always be an edge. When you remove the edge of a knife, it's not that it's not lost its edge, you've just moved it backwards a small amount, depending on how much you sharpened it. It's still an edge. It's still edgy. It's just the old edge is gone. YouTube displays this quality at this point. The old edgy crowd is almost entirely banned. Now when there's another purge, the new edgy crowd, which is less edgy than before, closer to the main line than before, they get banned. Over time, eventually, both edges narrow and you don't have anything anymore. Your site inevitably shrinks. Too much of a proportion of the world's population has views outside of what you deem acceptable. YouTube's TOS is like 10 fucking times longer than it was, a decade ago. The same is true of Twitter. Twitter also alienates people for other reasons. But here's the thing. Elon Musk is effectively saving Twitter from those people by saying, no, we're actually going to restore a little bit of that edge. We're going to do edge restoration surgery and grow the site. It sounds like a novel idea. People who aren't allowed on any other mainline site, they'll have a mainline site to go to. Of course, they're going to go there. Some of them won't. Some of them are like, well, I stopped using Twitter 3 years ago after my second strike and I haven't gone back. Fuck it. I use Gab now. Yeah, there will be a segment that do that. But if you're bringing potentially millions of people back aboard just by greenlighting people who were banned, who have large audiences, I don't think Musk is going to go through a laundry list of banned accounts and just say, oh, I'll restore them all. I think he's going to go through maybe the top 100 or so accounts by total followers or by total engagement. And he'll look through and he'll try to find an excuse to personally greenlight those people. So Trump and people like him. I think that's likely. Marjorie Taylor Greene's personal account. I mean, the fact is that disinfo shouldn't be policed at all. You can't even define it. I'm liking the salt, though, right now. Shaunking, The Verge, helping people delete their accounts. Yes, please do. Help the emotionally immature. Get the fuck off the site. If they don't like it, they can make their own Twitter. Or apparently they can buy one if they can match his offer. That's about all. Peace out.